All right, go. Okay.
Okay. His name is Tommy Zeigler, and Tommy's not a killer, but he's been in Rayford prison longer than most have been a living. Because Florida won't pay just to test his DNA. So his only taste of freedom is microwave burger when someone comes to see him. And then he gets to go to that cafe by death row. Tommy's seen come and go in that cafe by death row. More than 60 have been killed. Tommy's still awaiting his day because Florida won't pay just to test his DNA. He could be killed tomorrow or maybe next year, but after 42 years, he'll go without fear. For God knows, and Florida knows, he shouldn't be there. It wouldn't cost much just to test his DNA, but it's the millions that they'd owe if Florida let him off death row. His story is a long one, and the courts say he's done. No appeals, no relief, just that needle for one. But if you'll listen for a few, I'll tell you the truth. For the events of Tommy's life could also happen to you. You see, a judge with a grudge has all the tools. If he gets you in a courtroom, he'll make up the rules. Tommy never would have thought the law was so easy to bend. When he stood up in that court as a character witness for a friend, but a judge he'd never met before became his executioner that day. When he helped out a friend, he got a ticket to death row. Now, judges aren't supposed to be a character witness for their friends, but that crooked judge didn't care about no silly rules. Pranced into the courtroom with his robes and said, "That beverage agent's my friend." But it didn't do that agent no good because he lost the case and even his job. Tommy's friend kept his bar, and that crooked judge lost face. You see, Tommy's friend was a black man who owned a bar, and some old boys from the Ku Klux Klan wanted to take his bar away. So a beverage agent walked in the bar one day and said, "I saw you selling drugs, Mr. Bar Owner, so I'm taking that bar away." But Tommy's friend said, "You're lying, and I'll go to court to prove it." Then he asked Tommy for help, and when a friend calls to Tommy, do it. Well, you can probably guess that that black man kept his bar. The you-know-it hit the fan. Mr. Crooked Judge was mighty angry, and so was the Klan. And only 4 months later, on Christmas Eve night, some men broke into Tommy's store, shot Tommy in the stomach, and left him lying on the floor. But when Tommy came to and called the police, they framed him for the crime, you see. Tommy didn't know then that his wife Eunice and her folks were lying dead in the pitch dark store. And another man too was also dead on the floor. Tommy told the police the dead man was one of them that shot me as I came in the door. But the police claimed he was lying and said he was to blame. Then that crooked judge with a grudge got his case. Oh, for shame, for shame. If Florida if that's Florida's justice, Florida justice is to blame. They lied about the blood on Tommy's shirt and said it came from Eunice's dad. They said Tommy shot him, then beat him, and for the jury, they put on a show. The prosecutor was guessing, but the jury didn't know. Then that crooked judge with a grudge overruled and sent Tommy straight to death row. In 2001, DNA proved that Tommy said about the blood on his shirt was true. But Florida said it didn't matter because Tommy was in the store too. So unless they grant him a modern testing that will surely set him free, the last view of freedom that Tommy will see is the sight of an eagle flying high and carefree, and a picture in that cafe that's as close as he'll be. Tommy is an old man now and still hoping to be free. But without the DNA, that death row cafe is as close as he'll be. And this is my father, Lee McEachern.
Good afternoon. My name is Lee McEachern, and I was the Undersheriff of Orange County in December of '75 when these homicides occurred. I participated in the arrest of Mr. Zeigler, even though the captain of detectives, the lieutenant in charge of homicide, and I all seriously doubted that the evidence would support such an arrest, especially since we hadn't even really got started processing the crime scene. But the state attorney wanted an arrest, so the sheriff capitulated and we went out, took him into custody. The chief of staff at Florida Hospital said self-inflicting a gunshot wound like that and expecting to survive was like playing Russian roulette with 5 rounds in a 6-round revolver. Now, by the way, we're in the middle of an election cycle. One of the offices up for election is the Florida Attorney General. And that office can be more important than the office of governor. It's well to remember what Winston Churchill said. If you don't check the qualifications of your candidates, you're going to wind up being led by idiots. Okay, thank you very much.